thank you to our sponsors, K. Flynn Insurance, elect Bruce Becker for the Lincoln County Fire Board, and the Crafty Midwestern Mommy for their continued support of the Lincoln County Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the Lincoln County Podcast. Thank you again for checking us out today, checking out our sponsors and liking and subscribing to the podcast. Again, got another great guest on today. We're super excited to sit down and chat. And I'm going to turn it over to him to introduce himself, and we'll get going. So how's it going today?
Hey, Matt. Thank you. I just want to thank you for this opportunity. My name is Emmanuel Gervacio, and I am a Lincoln County member just of the businesses out here. And, man, it's been a blast doing what I do. So my story's kind of long.
Go for it.
This is Lincoln County. When you talk about community, not everybody's perfect. Everybody has a rough past, but I came through a program that kind of changed my whole way of thinking, my whole way of life.
Okay.
I'm just very thankful for the community kind of embracing that kind of motion, because there's a lot of overdoses in Lincoln County.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of problems in Lincoln County. So I'm just glad that there's people out there doing something to combat that.
Yeah.
There's so much that only, our first responders can do. So it's just been a blessing being a part of that program. That program is called the Dream Center.
Cool.
Out of Journey Church. Shout out to you guys. And it's a community program. I mean, I couldn't be able to do it. I mean, that's kind of where it starts.
Really?
Yeah, kind of where it starts. I graduated that program, and ever since then, it's been a tremendous roller coaster. I'm here to talk about the Latin community in Lincoln County. Demographics are 2.8% last time I looked at it.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty small community. I'm blessed to be able to offer something that kind of gives you that Latin vibe. I am the owner. Me and my wife are the owners of the Empanada Cabana, and we make these delicious, scrumptious, freshly fried, gourmet pastries that are filled with just deliciousness, and you have to try it. I got some coupons for you, Sue. And it's been a blessing just being able to embrace the community, because they embraced us back.
Yeah.
Because when you pour into something that you want to do and you don't get kind of that turnout, you're kind of bummed out.
For sure. That's why I ended up moving my businesses in Lincoln County. The difference in return I was getting from where I was before, I do all this and then you get some back, but it wasn't the same. And when I started doing stuff in Lincoln County, I was like, wow, this is where I need to be. And that's been kind of overwhelming, results from everybody that's come on. That's something that we've all discussed.
If you look at the demographics, since 2010, the projections, we're set to double in size.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to be a part of that growth, and you want to establish a footprint first. So I'm just very blessed to me and my wife are able to just we do the Lincoln County farmers markets, and it's a blast, seeing everybody working on something, whether it be your local farmer, with a goat, or your local farmer growing beets, something organic, something that you're looking for. We have that here in Lincoln County, and it's a blessing being part of that. Seeing your growth, Matt, seeing where you came from, seeing your academy and seeing just the impact that it's doing on the community, and getting these kids doing something positive.
Oh yeah.
It's a motivation for me. Doing something positive. We own a food truck. It's on Cherry Street, and we're in there dancing. We're in there having a great time, and the community comes and they're like, what is this? This is salsa, or this is merengue, this is bachata.
Yeah.
I'm from the Dominican Republic. My wife is from Ecuador, and this community, I feel the love. I feel the love. And when you see your customers dancing in front of the food truck and to this music, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, it's like you're making an impact in something significant because you're growing a culture.
Yes.
So the incoming Latin community, the incoming, just culture that's coming in, we want to do something different. We don't want chicken tenders and French fries everywhere.
No, and that's what we need too, is different. So many businesses and I'm not just saying in Lincoln County, but I watch so many people, they see one thing work and they want to just reproduce what someone else did. And that's what's so unique about Lincoln County, is we've got so many different things. And you guys in general you wouldn't think at the local Lincoln County farmers market in rural Troy, that's you're going to find that.
No, I mean, it's something unique. It's something special, and we're dedicated to the community. That's something that We do a lot of events in Lincoln County, and it's just so good having a relationship with these different business owners and different things, because you can not only collaborate, but you can talk to people and see where the next footstep in your process is going to be. Like, which way am I going to go? And man, shout out to Troy, because you guys are awesome. Like,
for sure,
it's making a significant impact. I see it all the time. What makes us different as a community is that we love each other. We care about each other. We see things. We point it out. We want to help you grow, because we're not going to leave you behind. So that's the embrace that I feel from the community. You know, like, most of our customers are people you see every day. You know,
no, for sure. You building a business in this area, you're gonna, I try to explain this to people with my employees at the painting company. You know, not only are they my employees, but I train some of them. I train their children, or I have trained their children, or we go to church together, or we shop together. Like, we live and work together. Oh, and that's how it is out here. Everybody does. You may be working or standing in line next to somebody that has hundreds and hundreds of acres of farming property. It's a millionaire. You'd never know it. It's everybody's together in it. That was something when COVID ended, my school exploded, took off, just grew. And I had a lot of people reach out across the U.S. going, hey, man, what's going on? Because so many schools, so many businesses went under. And so many other communities, businesses were going under left and right. And they're like, because when you pull up just the statistics of Troy, people would be like, because I mean, if I were to sit down with a martial arts marketing management business where they're going to tell you what to do with your dojo, they're going to be like, go to Wentzville. They're going to look at the numbers of Troy, the numbers of Wentzville, and they're going to go, you left that one and you came to this one and you doubled it. Hold up. This doesn't make sense. And so I wrote a couple letters to these people. I'm like, you just don't understand. When this happened, we all got together and we supported each other. I bought food and pizza, whatever we could. Everybody did it. Everybody worked together. And now everybody's doing great. Mm-hmm. And you could feel like, if it's a phone call or whatever, you can hear the pause on the other end of the line, because they're in a larger metropolitan style area, or an area where you don't know everyone. Mm-hmm. And they're lost. And then I tell them to go look up Lincoln County demographics and look at where it's growing and everything. And then it kind of answers the question a little bit more for them, but they don't realize it. And that's something that I love that we're able to highlight here, is the fact that it is so different.
Yeah. I think that's something that I hear all the time too. Is like, hey, you can take your stuff and go somewhere else with it, and do great. And it's not about that. No. It's not about chasing the dollar. I mean, it's gonna come depending on what your move is.
I am Julie Forster with Crafty Midwestern Mommy, your local boutique embroidery and fabric store. I sell fabric as well as sewing notions, and also teach classes. And then we also, on the other side of our business, do machine embroidery, custom apparel for local businesses, and just personalized gifts. Again, the store's name is Crafty Midwestern Mommy, and that's how you can find us on all social media platforms as well as our website.
You can strategize and do something good and see the final result, or you can just wing it and kind of see where that takes you. Good luck.
Sure.
Good luck. But having a plan, I think, is really like, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see yourself in 2 years? And kind of start having those conversations with wherever business partner you're with, or whoever, you might be in business with, but like, have something and go for it. You can't just sit back and kind of expect it to happen.
No, and that's what a lot of people, podcast or an interview podcast I listened to the other day, talked about that, about sometimes people use the excuse of being a perfectionist, but they're not really working on anything. It's just more of a, what do we do next? So how long have you guys been open out in Lincoln County?
So speaking of COVID, I actually got laid off from a good job during COVID.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they gave me a severance check. And I kind of looked at my wife like,
what do you want to do?
There's a million things that we can do, So we decided to invest. We decided to invest not only in ourselves, but our community. Yes. We pitched a tent. We got a gas fryer, and just kind of the essentials that we needed from the health department to be able to operate and sell food. We were blessed with a spot by Journey Church, kind of like community kind of standing again together, and we started selling empanadas. What makes us different from any other company is we make our own dough from scratch.
Really?
We make our own dough from scratch at Auntie K's bakery there on Main Street. Like, again, the community coming together. And it's just like, we're blessed to have those connections, but you got to grow those connections.
Oh yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. No.
You got to grow those connections. So, how that grew was, we had the table, we're making the dough, and then she's like, hey, I got an uncle or a cousin or something like that. We met a shop. We A1 Fabrication, who built the food truck. Well, we got the food truck. They kind of like did the finishing touches on it. So shout out to them.
James? No.
Brad Geating.
Brad, yeah. James is his son. I know his
James.
son.
James is his son.
Yeah, I've known them for years. I actually talked to Brad the other day. He's going to weld up some stuff on my paint trailer for me. Maybe, I think, this weekend.
So, yeah.
Good people.
Community coming together again. Yep. And that's what I love about Lincoln County, man. It's just like, they're rock solid. They are rock solid because they've seen us grow and they support us. We're giving out the same product, whether it's from a truck or a tent, and they come back for that same product. And we strive for quality. We have, I think, 11 different flavors currently right now.
Wow, up to 11. I know the last time I seen you guys somewhere, you'd added some new stuff.
We started with, I think, 2 flavors.
Really?
2 flavors, yeah. It was either traditional beef or apple caramel.
Okay, yeah.
Those were the 2 flavors you had. Then we started with cheese and green onion, ham and cheese for the kids, kind of get them introduced on it. We did the Lincoln County Fair. That was amazing because that's when we introduced the buffalo chicken.
That's where I found the buffalo chicken. That was my favorite one, yeah.
The buffalo chicken empanada, and that kind of helped us kind of grow. So we were like, hey, we got something here, and we kept adding flavors. So we're blessed with kind of like the community kind of keep coming to us because it gives us an opportunity to grow. It gives us an opportunity to bring something new to the table, like every season. So
no, and they're delicious, and it's when you go to some of these events, it's the same stuff over and over. Hot dogs, nacho chips, whatever. Everybody does the same thing. The big
which I love.
Big ones.
Don't get me wrong, I love.
But it's nice that there's something different, and it's wild because I remember I think I had class or I was painting on Saturday mornings with my kids. My wife went to the farmers market or whatever up there. And I remember them coming home with some.
The farmer's market.
I was like, what is that? And they're
farmer's
like,
market,
man, these are great.
We introduced a new flavor.
Yeah.
Sausage gravy empanada.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a walking biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That would put a lot of weight on me. I love biscuits and gravy. And my eyes just lit up when you said that one. But no, I remember them coming home with it. And they're like, because the kids were all excited because they got some soap from somebody. And, I forgot what else it was. It's something else, and that they had bought some of those. They're like, these are so good. It's just really cool. I think people forget there's a lot of that diversity in Lincoln County.
Yeah.
I think when people think about the businesses and what you touched on earlier about working with, Auntie K's, I've talked to several different business owners now, and one thing that everybody works together, even if it's the same business style. This is food, or whatever the different thing is. I've got painters that I know that, I was on a job today. I looked at a deck. What the homeowner was wanting is not something at the pay level and the way my business is set up I could do, but I got a guy that he's by himself.
Yeah.
I remember when I was by myself, I was able to do a lot of stuff that it required a little bit more labor. And so I was like, here, I'm going to give you a bid, but call this gentleman too. Check him out. You're a really solid dude. This is right up his alley. He may be a better fit. And you can almost watch people be dumbfounded by that. But that's something we all do out here.
Yeah.
I had a friend call the other day. Somebody reached out about signing up at his martial arts school. He's in Wentzville. And he's like, hey, so we'll give you a heads up. It's one of yours. I'm like, yeah, Dad took a transfer at work. They're probably closer to you now. It's totally cool. He's like, oh, that's cool. I just want to make, But having those
Networking.
relationships is something that a lot of people I know that are in larger areas would never, ever think about. It's all keep it close to the vest. Don't worry about that guy. Ooh, that one's going out of business. Yes, I've got more work. When that's not how we're operating out here.
No, not at all. I mean, just the embrace of the community coming together. You see it all the time, and that's what I like about Lincoln County. That's kind of where I won't. It'll be a lot for me to come out of here, and I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. Things are going good. I see the growth in the community, and I want to be about it. I want to get behind it. I want to be part of that.
Well, you probably a lot of like me with the aspect of when we opened up out here, I saw a lot of the older names in town that had been here for 50 years. And one of my goals was for one day to leave some type of a mark on the town like some of these people have done, where they've backed different programs that have brought something really beneficial to Troy or Lincoln County. And I want to be able to do something like that one day. I don't have any interest. People are like, oh, you could open multiple schools, other places. I'm not. I just like having my school here, knowing all my students, knowing the people that come in the school. After COVID, when we got up to we were at 260 students coming through doors. I didn't know half the people, and I did not like it. And I was so torn up because it's like so many people I knew in the martial arts community were closing, had no one in their schools. We were going to tournaments, and they're like, wow, we just signed one up this month, and I had signed up 90 in 45 days. That I felt like a piece of crap. I'm like, here, why aren't you grateful for this? God's given you all. Why aren't you? But I didn't like losing that touch. As the painting company grew and I had someone running the office and someone doing bids and all this stuff, I was really like bothered because I would meet people like, hey, you painted my house. No clue who they are.
Yeah.
They met the rep. They talked to the office. Casey sent them to bid. I had maybe swung through to check on the crew, but they weren't home. I'd never met them. And great, there's some people who can deal with that. I didn't like that. I really and truthfully did not like that. I like knowing my clients. I like working with my clients.
I think that me and you we both share something because we're both kind of looking for that customer wow factor.
Yes.
With me, it's kind of like I see their eyes light up when they take a bite, or when they walk into their home and they see that, that bright
Well, it's
white.
my favorite thing when they come in, it's freshly painted. Everything's, I'll drive the crews nuts. I'm like, get everything cleaned up. They're going to be home in 15 minutes. They're like, dude, we painted all day. What's it matter? I'm like, no, let's get everything picked up, and I'll try to have it perfect, almost over the top of the whole people pleasing. But they come in the door. But that to me, it's like they're like, oh, here's a check. I'm like, crap, almost forgot about that because I was just excited. They're like, oh, I love the colors.
For sure. No, that gets me excited. Just seeing kind of like, I don't. Especially events, like if I come out for your event, and you book me and I come out, I'm just there to kind of like, I want to meet you. I want to get to know you.
Yes.
We'll get the food. We'll feed these
food's
people.
Food's good. Yeah.
Like your check's good, but let me get to know you. Let me talk about what this is. Let me kind of introduce you to something so you can go home and kind of see, hey, I saw something different today.
Yeah.
Here's something new. And it's awesome to do.
You said the Lincoln County Fair was a really good one for you guys?
It was scary because you don't know kind of like, what's it going to be?
No, and it's a huge event. No, I agree. We when we first started setting up at it, I remember our first parade, the fair parade. I just bought some stuff, threw on a trailer or whatever. We come around the corner and hit Main Street. And
you see the whole community out there.
The entire Lincoln County was on Main Street. I was like, oh, shit. Because we did not have enough stuff.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I underestimated. Then we did the fair, and I think it was like Saturday night. I was a zombie. I was like just caffeine to get me through.
It's a push. It's definitely a push.
Because you just talk and meet. And I try to explain to everybody, I don't even go up there to sell programs and enroll students. Last year we did a spinning wheel and some stuff. I tried something a little different, but it took away from me being able to just talk with everyone and meet the people in the community. People that have maybe Facebooked me or messaged me, or their nephew took class, or there's several kids that took class when they were little that are teenagers now that come by to see me.
For sure.
And that's what it's about for all of us up there. And I try to, people outside don't get that.
No.
They don't understand. They're like, why do you close, because we'll have people still teach class, but we'll cut our hours back. Cause it's an event for people in this town, in this area.
You when teaching, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And I was a residential advisor for a long time for the Dream Center.
Okay.
I think about 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
And when you pour into people, that kind of, you come home kind of like wanting somebody to pour into you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you have to learn your limitations with it too.
Yeah, for sure. And God blessed me with another child, so I had to step away from that. But people pour into the community, and the community needs to start pouring back.
Oh, for sure.
So that's kind of where I'm like, I'm happy where I have something to pour back
Yes.
Like I give you something new, you know, because you guys poured into me.
Yes.
So
Oh, for sure. And that's what a lot of it's about too. So how did the Dream Center kind of help you on that route?
No, for sure.
Because I've heard nothing but great things. Emil's supposed to come on.
Yeah.
We've,
Shout out to Emil.
I've got him scheduled, and then we were supposed to get lunch, but my schedule has been wacky. I've had to cancel. I've apologized 100 times, so I've had to cancel on him like 3 times now because of my having to run out and take care of jobs. But yeah, how did the Dream Center kind of help you along with that?
So speaking about community, the Dream Center is all funded by the community.
Yeah.
And it's a place where I wasn't perfect, so I needed a place to go and get right.
Yes.
I've been sober for over 4 years now.
Congrats.
And it's just been a tremendous blessing having that clarity, bringing my family back together, having more kids.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous blessing. And also providing a business. So it's like I've grown so much, and there's other people kind of doing the same thing. When you talk about community, I had a yearning in my life, like, man, how can I give back? Because when you're growing, that you have to grow first. You have to take care of yourself, then you can take care of others around you.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So I was like, how am I going to take care of you guys? You know, my wife had a tremendous idea. I think it sparked up at like, we had like a dance at church or something like that. And everybody brought a dish. And then my wife, we fried up some empanadas.
Yeah.
And that's when it started.
Yeah, everybody was like, wow, what are these?
Yeah, what are
I
these?
can
You
see
know,
that.
and somebody's like, quit your job and start selling these. And
It's easy for people to say, though. It's harder to do.
God laid me off.
There you go.
He laid me off, gave me a severance check, and was like, here you go, man. Here's your foundation. You know, if you want it, go get it. If you got God in your life, everything else is going to be added upon.
Yep.
So as long as I take it, bless it, and then go, we're good to go, man. We're good to go.
That's awesome.
The Dream Center kind of helped me get into that mindset. I graduated the program 2019, I believe, around there. And then I went to a place called Cosmos. Worked there for like 2 to 3 years, moved up, got my dream job. I was in the lab making shampoo, dog shampoo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, that's way different.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got laid off, but great company.
Yeah.
And now I'm here selling empanadas on Cherry Street out of a food truck.
Hey.
And it's awesome.
But you're happy doing it. And that was something I've always I loved watching, and I never realized this till I got older, but I always thought it was cool when you'd watch movies and they go down to the corner store and the old lady be sweeping the stoop or cleaning stuff off out front, but that was a small family-owned business. Or when you go back to how the country was founded and the people coming over and they would start, you know, working on shoes or tailoring suits or making hats. And, it's really like, I feel like it really gets back to the roots of how the country started by
I love
being
that word.
an
I love that
entrepreneur.
word, roots. Yeah.
Yeah, but by kind of getting back to it, like that's the way it was supposed to be. Not everybody now, not crapping on anyone that works for someone else, but there's something just very American about that and about doing your own thing.
Oh, freedom. Let's talk about freedom.
Yeah.
Having creative freedom, I think
Yes.
is the way I was able to come up with the sausage gravy empanada.
Yeah.
We got a jalapeno popper that has cheddar cheese, bacon. I mean, these are just flavors that just pop in your mouth that you're looking for. You know, you want them quick, you know, and creative freedom here in America is amazing. You know, having that freedom just to do that.
Just to do that, to have your own business.
And be
to
happy.
Do that. Yes.
You know, I'm dancing, you know, and I'm dancing more because it's like I've had a tent. You know, I used to pitch a tent.
Yeah.
Fighting wind, fighting water.
Oh God, those tents are miserable sometimes at these events. Like you just the last night of 1,000 Stars, I set up 2 tents. I wrapped them, and then nothing around there would pull enough juice for my heater. And I was like, all right, well, sorry guys, we're gonna freeze tonight, and it was cold. But
It's tough.
You're talking to everyone in the community, you're meeting them. I seen like we had a bunch of overstock, so I gave out at the parades. I gave out a ton of hoodies and T-shirts and all this stuff, and I seen people walking by in them that I knew did not go to the school. And so I was getting kind of like pumped up. I'm like, oh, it's really cool. You're getting use out of it because it's just collecting dust.
Yeah.
But those tents, like, you know, you started out with a tent, you know, it sucks. It just sucks. I was, so the first year, second year. First year I did the fair, I think it was my first year, is the year the windstorm come through and destroyed everybody's booths.
Yeah.
And I learned a valuable lesson because I took some stuff that I was emotionally connected to. It's a newspaper article. It was our first newspaper article written on the school 15 years ago, and I had all the students sign it. Had that hung up. Well, it didn't get ruined. somebody was looking after me on that one because it did not get ruined. I've still got it, but I was definitely learned a lesson. I don't take anything other than just stuff I can order on Amazon with me anymore.
For sure.
But having those booths and dealing with that stuff, like it's definitely not glorified.
No, but it's something that like you said, everybody was going through it.
Yes.
Everybody, so they see your struggle.
Yes.
And I remember being in an event on Main Street, and all of a sudden it rained.
Yeah.
And no amount of sandbags was gonna hold this thing down. And I had people coming out, the community coming out, holding my tent down.
That's awesome.
And those same people, they come up to my truck now. And it's like, man, you get a discount.
Yeah.
Or yeah, this is for free because I remember what you did.
Yeah.
And they'll tip you, or they'll buy more, or they'll keep coming because it's just a good association with who you are.
Yes.
I see you trying, I see you what you're doing, let me help you because of character. And nobody's going to support you unless you have good character.
No, for sure. And that was something we learned when moving into this community fully. That was one of the things I really wanted to focus on. And then the last year and a half now, I actually quit doing I'll sponsor a Facebook post once in a while, but we'll go do something for someone in the community instead of advertising. There was one week, I think we did like 5 different 5K t-shirts.
Wow.
We sponsored them because I wanted to see, if we're going to spend money to put our name out, I want to see it in the community. And I realized that I got a digital billboard. Well, that's not local. They're out of New York or whatever. I don't know if that's really where they're at, but they're not local. We had done the shopping carts at Kroger, which those were funny. Those were so expensive. My wife just laughed at me about them. And I realized that where I put them is where everyone sets their purse. I kind of goofed the whole thing. Plus, it was an out-of-state company. It was getting the money, and that bugged me.
You said the wife. Shout out to the wives out there, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you for supporting us.
And I text my wife that at least once a day. Thank you. I know I don't say this enough, but no, like you said, we wouldn't. And there's so many people in the community, too, that have businesses that without that supportive spouse, even if they're not the one that's in the limelight, or the one that's out in front all the time, they couldn't do it without them.
For sure. And half the time you might not even know that the job that you're doing was sold by your wife.
Yeah. No.
Like her word of mouth, or, my wife knows a lot of her friends, and, they contact us. Hey, can I get some of these? Can I get some of these? I got this party coming up. And we take care of them.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice having something that you can present at your table that's unique, different.
Oh, and that's what's so cool about what you guys have is there's nothing around here like it. It's something totally different, and they're delicious.
Thank you.
And I like handheld food. I don't know what my I guess because of driving around all the time, I eat so much handheld food. I like stuff that's handheld.
It's on the go.
Yeah, so I love that aspect. And like I said, that's a weird thing of mine that I'm like, I can pick it up. I don't know.
Yes.
That it's great. But what's cool is your attitude about the business and doing the things to help people out and to give back. I find that people forget that. We'll deal with stuff in business outside of Lincoln County, and I won't take contractors in St. Louis County anymore. I stay out here because we would take on something with painting, and they would need this, and this, and then they would screw us over on the back end. And it's like, well, hold up. I went out of my way to do all this to be nice, and then you did this. Okay, I'll remember that. That doesn't happen in Lincoln County. If somebody's struggling with something, the community almost comes together so fast that it's mind-blowing. There's been things that I wanted to support that were already just taken complete care of before I seen it on Facebook, or before Casey and I could meet up that night to talk and her say, hey, I seen this today. Do you want to get involved? And it's done. Yeah,
it's already, That's Lincoln County for you, man. We're just so tight knit, and it's good. We're growing. And
what's your plans for the future? Anything you can talk about?
We got a lot of new things coming up.
Cool.
Some unique products like salami and some fried cheese. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So kind of branch out with some more variety too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We want to stay on Cherry Street, and kind of just keep that vibe going. So if you're walking Main Street, and you don't want to hit the bar, or you don't want to get a coffee or something like that, come get something different. Come get that island vibe.
That's really cool.
Yeah, come listen to some music, come dance around.
That's cool. I bet you guys are glad that Cherry Street's done too.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, being part of the community.
Yeah. No, it seemed to really cut everybody off too while that was going on a little bit. That was through that little little stretch right there, it's all coming back, and I think it looks great. But yeah, that was kind of hectic. I've just now kind of gotten back in the habit of cutting down Cherry Street again, because and I bet there's more like me that kind of got out of the habit of going through there.
Yeah. I mean, it takes you all the way down to 47 and cuts around that.
Oh yeah, no, and I live right there at Bluffview, so I can swing out, and it takes me straight through town. Casey and I came uptown the other day to go to Anchored Hope for church, and she went that way, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, you can go this way. I'm like, oh, this feels so weird. I go 47 and then down Main Street for everything. Yeah, I didn't realize like I can get like very habit formed on stuff, because she turned out of there and she went right up to Capo Gris to go back home. I'm like, what are you doing? Our house is that way. I was like, oh, are you trying to freak me out? She was making fun of me in the truck. The kids are like, we go this way all the time. I'm like, I don't. Apparently I go the same way everywhere.
Do something different, you know?
Yeah, so I told her,
I
was like, oh man, I'm losing my mind. This is nuts. So, you guys have been out here. You've been open for a couple years now?
I've been open for, I say, 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yeah. We started right at the end of COVID.
Now, has that ride of entrepreneurship been what you were expecting?
Not at all. Not at all.
I love asking everybody that question.
Oh, man. I think you got to be in it for the ride.
Yeah.
You got to be in it for the ride. And that's the fun part of it. If you're not having fun, like while I'm setting up, I'm dancing. You know, if I see a customer, if we're busy, you know, I'm yelling at that guy, hey, I'll be with you in just a second. It's a fun vibe. It's like street food.
Yes. Well, and having that attitude and that atmosphere really takes care of a lot of stuff. I will, with classes, someone will come in. Before I had a front desk staff, people would come in. I'd be like, hey, I'll be right with you. Because I'd be teaching. I couldn't just walk out of the class. But by addressing them and stuff, and they could see, oh, he's right there, man. He's doing his thing. People are so cool with it and understanding. Very rarely will we ever have anyone that was like, well, I'm in a hurry. It's like, cool. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not walking.
When it comes to quality.
Yeah. Well, and I have friends that have schools at different areas that they have some just wild stories of their clientele. And it's like, man, I don't ever deal with that. We really and truthfully, with the painting company, the only time I have issues is when we go into St. Louis County and further into St. Charles County, because it's just a different atmosphere. Whereas out here, if I'm painting for a customer, I'm like, hey, listen, we had something come up in our job. I'm going to pull a couple guys. They're like, hey, no problem. You know, they know us. There's that trust built there.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you're setting up. Somebody pulls up. Hey, we'll be right with you. They're fun. They see you guys having fun. They know you're having a good time. They know you're getting it ready. So cool. They're going to take care of it.
And that's people wait for quality.
Oh, for sure.
And, like, I'm sure somebody called your company, hey, I need this done now. You're like, well, I got you 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
They'll wait for that quality.
If they know us and they want to work with us, they will. And that's a hard pill to swallow for new entrepreneurs. That stuff used to rattle me a little bit. And then I learned it was just like, because it would rattle me and Casey because we were booking it out. I take the fact that, I have a couple employees who one, his wife runs Taekwondo school for me. He works as a painter. Their entire household is dependent on my businesses. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of pressure. So, I hate to upset a customer or tell someone we can't get to them, especially, with paint jobs, we're going to be talking 20 grand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But I had to learn that those customers were not my customers. And nobody local really does that, and if it is something that's an emergency and it's local, and I even tell people this when I bid, local gets first priority. Like when I'm sitting down doing my schedule and it's for business reasons, I mean, there's a million different reasons, but local gets first priority. If I've got a bunch of jobs booked locally, they're going to go on, and the one that's in St. Louis is going to go last if I even have one bid.
No, it takes a lot operating outside of a county. I mean, as far as food wise, you're talking.
Oh, it's a headache.
Business licenses in different counties. You're talking about health permits in different counties.
Yeah, is it just for county or is it for cities too?
I have city, county. Yeah. I mean, as far as Lincoln County, but if you go to like Warren County or St. Charles County or St. Louis County.
If you stay in Lincoln County, you're covered. But if you were to go outside of it, you'd have to do it through the health department through the county.
Yeah, I have to do something different. And that
some areas, some townships will actually want a contractor to buy
they come
a
out. You have
license.
to pay for stuff, and it's like
we have to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I ain't doing it.
Lincoln County is awesome because they do great. They do great just communicating what you need. They do great in communicating and telling you, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. Yeah. And they give grace and it's awesome. it's a tremendous blessing being able to. They're not going to give you your license unless they know you're good.
No, but it's a community that wants to support small businesses. Julie Rogers was on, who is amazing, and she was actually telling me,
she's an amazing person.
If anyone comes on here and says they don't love Julie, I'm going to delete their episode because Julie's awesome. Yeah. But she was telling me that when businesses reach out, like large businesses, to do, and I forgot what she called it, but basically to see if they want to come to Lincoln County, one of the things they want to know is what's your small business culture like?
Yeah.
How is that supported? Because that creates jobs for the family members that may be working for them. It was really interesting that was something that's on their radar.
I think that something about Lincoln County is that and don't quote me, but I'm doing my research. I think that Lincoln County holds the only Dominican and Ecuadorian food truck in the state.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, I believe so, because I haven't found plantains or anything like that, things that I offer on my truck, really anywhere else.
No way. Yeah, I never would have thought about it like that too, because there's such a mixed variety, but you got probably a 400 taco trucks or fish and chips. Like I never would have thought of that. Yeah, that's really cool.
The little Lincoln County.
That's neat though. Yeah, but that's neat for you though to be representing that.
Yeah, I'm representing Lincoln County.
Yeah.
Well,
but to be having a Dominican food truck and to be doing something like that for that culture as well.
Yeah.
For that's huge. That's something that's really cool that most people wouldn't think about that probably means a lot to you. Me building up the martial arts school, so one day, whether my students take it over, my children take it over like that, that'll mean something to me. Like my instructor and I had a big falling out years ago, but I know if he walked in and saw us running the forms the way he taught them, running the weapons that his father had taught him, he told us they were passed down, unless that's crap. Even with our differences, I'm still teaching what he taught me and passing that teaching along. I wrote a notebook out, no matter what, I'm still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He could say what he wants about the other stuff, but there's a part of you that's going to be like, no,
your heart's got to be in it. Your heart's definitely got to be in it.
That's still going out.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what a lot of people too with business, they to be an entrepreneur, you got to love what you do. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's hard.
Yeah.
Every day can suck. There's the great days. There's the other days that you feel bipolar with having the business. So you have to love it.
Mm-hmm.
To do it, and that's why we've just done it for years, and so many people in our community do it. Support small business first.
Yeah,
I don't think that's something we really have to preach, because it's what everybody does
for sure,
and it gives us that the variety.
The variety of life. Lincoln County has it.
Yeah. No, and it's really neat too. And back on the subject, like businesses working together, I have met so many businesses that are able to work with this one or this one or this one, and man, you just don't see that.
No.
You don't see it. You don't see the way I built the painting company up was supporting stuff in the community, and because of that, all of a sudden, we painted the key. All of a sudden, I got a phone call. All of a sudden, I got a phone call to paint People's Bank. And that was the largest bid at the time I'd ever wrote. So this weekend I'm going to a speaking competition. This is actually
good luck on that, by the way.
Thank you. I just want to get there. I found out Friday, so I got to perform 2 speeches, a 10 and a 7 minute. The 7 minutes got to be completely different. Well, I've been working on the 10-minute one with a coach forever, and he's like, no, man, you got to have a different one for the 7. So I've been grinding on that. But I talk about how we painted the key. And I did it because I wanted people to see that even with that business, I wanted to support the community. Yeah. I knew I was going to get marketing off of it. I knew I would get business off that because I knew who ran it, who was in charge. This was something very important. All of a sudden, I get a call. Hey, we need you to paint People's. Sent them over a bid. Boom, they signed it immediately. And I was having a heart attack because at the time, it was like a $14,000 bid. That was the largest bid I'd ever sent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's send it. And then while we were finishing up, I overheard some ladies behind us going, well, how'd we find them? They painted the key. And I was like, okay, now I know what my focus is going to be and that we're going to give back. And we do more. We started doing more. I started trying to find stuff.
Yeah.
That one just kind of, it popped up. I shot a DM over, said, I want to paint it. I walked in, the place was huge. I was like, oh no, what did you do? And but this community supports that. No. They want to work with people that want to give back. I've had so many people come in the school, and they're not there because my kids are the best martial artists. They're like, we want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's like an overall effect all over Lincoln County. Yeah. Are you guys going to do the fair this year?
We're thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we just recently had another baby girl. So
congrats.
Yeah, things have gotten a little tighter, but
yeah, I remember when I opened the school at 28, no kids. Then my wife and I got together, and we had my stepsons, and then we had our children. And that changes things. I'm lucky with the school; the kids can be there with me. And that's something like with you, you'll be able to have your children up there if you don't already.
No. Sometimes I have them up there just kind of having fun, you know?
And that's something I had to get past too. In the early years, I'd try to be so overly professional with stuff. I'd be like, no, guys, be quiet, chill.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to be like, no, man, I'm letting Jocelyn's up the front desk. If she wants to sell someone a T-shirt, go for it. Like this, I started realizing like that's the roots of a family business.
Yeah. I
had to get past that. They went on bids. They went on bids with me yesterday. People are totally cool. They love it.
Right along. I mean, so I go to the teachers, and when I go to drop off a kid, and they're like, "Oh, empanadas," and I'm like, "Oh, what? My kid's over there telling the teachers about empanadas, and they're your number one promoters.
Oh,
and it's free.
Yes, it's free.
You don't even gotta pay them.
No, they tell everybody about it. They get a kick out of that, and the kids love it. Like we just did the hats for the Paint to Profit business, the coaching thing I'm doing, and they were like, "Are those other ones ours?" I'm like, "You gonna wear them?" Sure. Like they want all the swag. They love it, and having their name on it and being a part of it and keeping them involved in it. Sometimes I have to tone them down a little bit at the dojo because I still am their instructor.
Yeah, you want to humble. Humble. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was one night. We went somewhere. One of my instructors was watching them for me, and she went up. She was like, "Can we take them to the school?" I'm like, "Let's see." Well, they were turds because they know that they own the place, So the black belts all of a sudden lost their authority. I was like, all right. So the next time I'm like, no, you guys got to stay home until you can. We had a long talk about it that it is still a business. They have to listen to black belts, and they kind of look at me like. Yeah, but that's our name on the wall,
Yeah, no, I think that's great what you're doing, and just kind of instilling that respect.
Well, it's fun. It's just nice to have the kids a part of it, and to be able to have a family business. As the painting company really grew, and I had salespeople, I felt like we lost that. So when I see big businesses that still maintain that, I'm always like, wow, it's really cool, because I felt like we got to where it was just very corporate. When a friend would call up and be like, hey man, we had something fall through, I need you to come paint this. They were people that had supported me for 15 years. I'd tell them no because the crews were booked out. Everybody was taken care of. My job, I was taking care of. I couldn't help them. And that hurt. That was something I wasn't ready to deal with.
No. So I hire help sometimes, especially for the fair and for the big events.
Yeah.
And this is like, man, you got to take the hit.
Yeah.
You got to take the hit. I say, hey, you're going to get this much regardless of what I sell.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you got to give it to them because that's your help.
Well, and the biggest trick too is instilling the culture of your personality into everything, and that's something I'm working on, kind of doing at the school, is being having a little bit more fun with the classes. Sometimes I got parents, hey, when are we gonna have testing? When are we have this? And I'm trying to like really focus in on that, and I forget to just enjoy what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I've got all my helpers. I'm trying to coordinate them. And so in the past, like 6 months with them taking on more stuff at school, because I'm very, very, if my instructors come in and they're like, I know we're here to help tonight, but I got a lot of homework. Cool. Have a seat at the desk. You could just do because they train after the ones they teach at. Do your homework. I got this.
Sometimes that's part of the training. It's kind of just be there and do something else.
And they all hang out at the front desk, do all their homework. I got several of them that come up early, and it's doing that. And so what I've started back to a lot of that, and I noticed the atmosphere in the school really kind of changed for when I first tried to integrate more teachers and take a little bit off my plate.
Yeah.
One, I hated it because I like being out there. I do it because I love what I do. And that's something that I feel like as entrepreneurs, it's a big hurdle. Some people can just cross it. For some of us, it's harder because we just love what we do.
Yeah. No, I'm having fun. Yeah. Whether I'm making, $50 that day or $250, like I'm having fun.
Well, and it comes through in the food. Your consistency is always great. It always tastes good. And if you love it, I kind of thought about this the other day with the businesses. I was kind of reflecting on everything, and I was thinking like, if I was a chef and I made food, it would be really hard not to be peeking out that window to be, oh, did they like it? Like, I'd want to see that.
My eyes on
yeah,
you. My
yeah,
eyes
I would
on
want to
you, yeah.
see that. And it's funny you'd mentioned that
Put
earlier.
the money aside.
Yeah,
Like,
I would be that. It would be really hard not to see that. And that was something with the painting. Like when I started having crews doing all the work, I kind of missed that. I liked that. Ta-da! Here's your new colors, or putting the cabinets in, and they're painted something different. And the homeowner's like, "Yes, this is what we've been wanting." That's a hard thing. That at some point, you know, to grow, we have to learn to work on that. But how far do you really got to go with it? You know, you obviously love what you do. It's a family business, a legitimate family business, because it's you guys doing
it's
it
just
every
me and
day.
my wife, correct?
I mean, how many days a week are you guys? I mean, just open in general.
Right now we're doing 2 days a week, but we might just do that 1 day a week, just because the volume is picking up.
Yeah.
So I'd rather make a lot more and then have more to offer you than to sell out. You know, that's my biggest
Oh, I bet that's
hurdle.
hard too. Yeah.
You'll come for the buffalo chicken, all I got is ham and cheese, you know,
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the ones that you want, you know, and sometimes, you know, you accommodate, hey, can I give you something else, you know, and sometimes they introduce, oh, this is better than what I came here before, you know.
Well, because you do have a variety, but I would think, you got to prep everything out, and then you've got what you've got.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet that makes like the fair and stuff like that where it's an unknown.
So that the fair, I dwindle it down to like 2 or 3 flavors.
Yeah.
That way I can just produce a large volume, but when I'm producing a large volume, like I want to keep, it's just me.
Yeah.
And these get done one by one, and
so they're all just handmade.
Yeah.
Wow.
We make our own dough, we make our own fillings.
Everything
from scratch.
How many empanadas do you sell a month?
A month? Oof.
Or a week?
A week. I want to say I sell about 300 to 500 empanadas.
Wow, that's a lot of work making 300 to 500, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's amazing.
People forget that too if they don't own a business. Like I'll use painting, for example. I will spend my Sunday making sure my trailer's loaded up, making sure my supplies are good, running to get materials, double checking. Like there's all this other work that goes into it, but all they see is, oh wow, they're out running around at noon on a Thursday or something. Oh, it must be nice. It's like, well, yeah, it's because my whole so Friday morning I got the guys out of the shop. We drove to Memphis. We competed in a tournament Friday night, Saturday night. Got up, drove home Sunday. I was home 10 minutes, went to grocery store, came back, and I realized that the homeowner's house we were painting Monday was a specific shade of white. It wasn't just white. Well, I have white on hand, so I had to run into Wentzville and get the white they wanted. 6 o'clock at night, my brushes are cleaned up, my stuff. People don't see that part.
No, yeah, definitely.
They don't see you working for how many hours does it take to make something like that?
I mean, I've gotten quicker at it, but where I like doing is like, my fryer's clean, the truck is clean,
yes,
everything's clean, fresh oil, products made. That's why I'm dancing.
Yes, yeah, that's a good feeling.
That's why I'm dancing, because I got the product to sell to you. Everything's good to go. You know, I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Yes.
You know, I don't care if I make $50 or $100. I'm here to do it, and I'm ready.
And you're ready, and you feel good. Yeah, no, I feel that completely. When I got the trucks gassed up and the trailer's ready and everything's prepped, or the school's cleaned up and I've got my stuff written out for the week, like now I can take a breath.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a certain satisfaction in that accomplishment of just having everything ready and kind of dialed in to go.
Nobody wants to wash the gunk on the bottom of the fryers.
Nobody
wants to take out the trash, you know, but that's kind of where you make your money at.
Yes.
Keeping your equipment clean, you know, maintaining
being efficient.
Being efficient, you know, and I think that's another thing. If you own, so we owned everything from the tent because we bought it all. We just kind of threw it in the truck.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where your money's at, because if once this is paid for, everything else is profit.
Yeah, and the sense of ownership too that you take over a business, you know, I shouldn't do it, but there's times I'll take the kids, we'll go up and we'll shop back out the fronts of the vans the employees drive. Now I should make them do it, but it's my van.
Yeah,
it's my yours. Name on the side of it. Like we'll go up, do that. I'll run them down, throw some gas, or go run them up and wash them. And then when I walk in on Monday morning, everything's cleaned up. And it's something the kids can help me with still. Like we'll have everything done. We'll have the paint organized. I'm like zen, like at that point, everything's done and tightened up. You know, I know the school's good. It makes you feel good. And I have to watch it because I get a little too crazy with it. Like I try to make every little thing perfect, and that's not a sanity. You can't maintain your sanity that way.
But you gotta have a relaxed time.
But that sense of accomplishment, whereas with like an employee, they come in, they paint, they leave the van a mess or whatever, or they drop stuff here or there or whatever. Some people just don't have that. Whereas us crazies that want to be self-employed entrepreneurs, there is that sense of that's mine. No matter if it's when we first wrapped the trailer and the truck, when we were first coming up, like I was so proud of it because that was mine. And I paid for the trailer. It was paid off, all the tools, everything in it.
Now you're wondering how long it's going to last.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to make this work well. And then I'm going to work on this, or I'm going to adjust this. And that sense of pride, I pull up on a job site and I got the trailer and truck and customers are like, wow, it looks really, I even make it when I go on bids, I'll park, even if I have to block the mailbox, I'm just real calm. I like check around for the mail lady. But I want them to, when they open the door, to see the truck logoed and everything.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know I didn't come up in something covered in paint. 2, I want them to know that I have the pride in my business to like it's there and I'm proud of it. Sure. I want them to, I like that. Looks really good. Mm-hmm. And that's something I think that drives more entrepreneurs than people think. I think with like all the content out there these days, they think it's money. Money makes the world go round. Money's the reason we're still able to stay where we're at.
I get that.
That's not why we get up and do it.
No. You can have a nice shiny truck.
Yeah.
You can have all the money in the world, but your reputation's got to be good.
Yes.
You got to treat people right.
Yes.
And even if you can treat people right and have that good, you still have good food.
Yes.
So it's like a dance of all of these,
yes,
and then to produce a good product, in a good kind of environment.
Well, and you can't do that if you're just driven by the dollar.
Yeah, no, I'm not here to make the money.
No,
it's going to make
exactly
itself as long
yes.
as I keep the right attitude.
Yes, as long as you have the right attitude. Yeah, but I think that's the mistake people make, though, is they think entrepreneurs like, oh, they just did that because they're greedy. Because there are so many people out there creating, I'll teach you how to make $10 billion or whatever. That's not what gets them out of bed. I've never, and it's something that over the years I've had like clients that were real wealthy with the painting company. I can give you, I just did a reel on this the other day, the pretty girl at the bar reel. Give you all this work. Hey, why don't you guys come out with us Saturday? We'll go drinking, whatever. And I'm not interested in that.
No.
And people sometimes take it the wrong way, but I don't care if they have a $10 million project or a $200 door. I want to deal with people that are going to treat me right. It depends on how they're treating me. And I've dealt with people before. I mean, the guy was, he ended up screwing me over on a larger project in St. Louis County, but he was out in his driveway being obnoxious, actually looked at his wife and told her to dress a little sluttier. The painters are here. And I was like, what a piece of crap. I didn't want to paint for him. And we never did again. I didn't even, and he had money. Like he took me to go bid a job in his Bentley. Like money coming out his ears, but he was a absolutely terrible human being.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to paint for him anymore. Now, a lot of people I know would be like, man, that's so stupid. This guy, they're just property after property. He was doing a $750,000 yard. Like you would walk down and it had a pool. So the bar was submerged with the pool around it with a brick oven stove and it was, yeah.
Sounds nice.
You could see through the decking that was above it. So if you're on the deck, you could look down across it. It was crazy. But the guy was just a piece of crap human. Yeah. I didn't want to work with him. I didn't want to, and so I never did. And a lot of people I knew were like, "Oh man, you're really in with them. They got money." I'm like, I don't. It ain't about the money.
It's not.
It's about making that connection with the client. Just like the dojo, it's not about how talented the kid is. It's are they coming in to work hard? The parents involved, like what's going on. That's what drives me. Like I've had parents come in before. Hey, whatever my kid needs, I got $100 bills here, whatever you need, and I'm like. Dude, talk about turning me off to a personality. Yeah. Like I was like, you can deal with the staff down there, man. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I really, my face just says it all.
Yeah, especially in a dojo where it's all about respect,
Yeah, just any business though. The majority of us are not doing this to get that. We're doing it because we love it. We're around our family. We're able to provide a service to our community. Mm-hmm. And like you said, that's been the overwhelming, over-resounding thing that everyone said that's come on here. It's been really the coolest part is we're all connected with one goal.
Yeah.
And just building that goal and building up the community and the fact that so many people want to give back and help the community.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm just here for me. And I haven't,
no.
That's just not here. That's not something that we're doing.
I think my favorite part is seeing the customer smile because they're getting something that only you can provide.
Yeah. Oh, and for sure. I know anytime you guys are at an event, if we don't get the kids one, we hear about it on the way home.
Yeah.
They hound us. They could eat themselves silly at the fair. All the different vendors that set up, they could go nuts. But I try to explain to people too, like what a crazy size event like the Lincoln County Fair is.
It's one of the biggest events, maybe the biggest. Besides, I think the fireworks also is a big event.
Yeah, well, way more people come to the fair, though.
Mm-hmm.
Way more people come to the fair. But the fireworks is a great one, too. That's another one that's we're always really happy to support. And I like to explain that to people, too, that is completely funded by the community.
Yeah.
Rotary raises all that money through the community to do that.
And puts on a great show, too.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a part of Rotary, so I'm there for the talks on what it costs. And there's been several times, I mean, they've upped our fees. They've upped what they charge us, and we make sure that's met through community involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they just see it as something, some people just see it as somewhere they go, and it just happens. And I don't think they realize that the small businesses in Lincoln County make that stuff happen.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody coming out, everybody supporting the event. That's how those events happen. But the fair, I mean, when we set up, the first year we sat up and watched all those people come in, it was mind-blowing. Last year I was really bummed because we had to go out the back gate for some reason, and we came around, and I had left early one night. I think I was just exhausted. I just went home. We hadn't had a lot of people through the booth, and I was just done. I was like, I'm going home, because normally I end up staying as late as possible. And I meant to get a video as I just drove down, because I wasn't moving real fast, so I was moving just enough. It had been a really cool video so people could really see, because I'd had somebody invite me to an event. I'm like, no, man, we got the fair. And I didn't really explain it. I should have explained it better to him. I had a booth for my business at the fair. I wasn't blowing off his event because I wanted to go hang out at the fair. Like, I was working.
Yeah.
But they are like, whatever, I don't think they grasp the size and the fact we meet everyone in our community.
You know, and it's different. You know, the fair, you have to deal with, if you're outside and you're selling food, you know, I think one of the car shows got canceled last year.
Yeah. Yep.
You see all these people in the bleachers just kind of get off and walk out.
Yep.
Like the fair's pretty much done. So you lose that whole day's worth
Yes.
of all the stuff you prepped and stuff like that. And guess what? Like,
Oh, yeah, that can hurt you. It's a gamble.
mm-hmm. You got
It's
to
a
look at the
gamble.
person that you hired that day and say, I got to send you home with your paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Sorry.
yeah.
No. And I think people forget that too. We'll go on bid or go on jobs, and we'll show up. And they'll be like, oh, we forgot to tell you it's not going to be ready. It's like, well, it was ready Friday. It's Monday. What happened over the weekend? Well, oh, you didn't check in on it. Okay. And I got to find somewhere for the employee to go.
Yeah.
And then they want to know why I'm pissy. And it's like, well, because this person's counting on their paycheck this week. I have to provide that even though you lied to me on Friday when you said the job was ready.
Yeah,
well, I assumed it. Well, but now I have to provide for this employee.
Yeah.
People don't. Non-employers, I think there's a real disconnect there with they don't realize how much that actually means to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year something got canceled there. Then I know we've done the car show up on Main Street, which is a great event.
love
But
the
man,
car
it gets
show.
so hot.
Yeah.
Because they always want us to do a demo, and I tell the parents, I'm like, if you guys want to bring the kids out, bring them, but it's brutal and it sucks, and I don't even want to walk down there and do the demo. So I would more than happy to, but
Yeah.
let us know. And the parade, just everything about the county is
Then
great.
you got like the Night of 1,000 Stars.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. First year we did that, I learned a valuable lesson. Under Armour cold gear
Yeah.
only keeps you warm if you're moving, unless you buy the hunting one. I had the sport one. I was doing burpees. I was like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I can't feel anything.
I see, for us, it was like turn up the grill.
Yeah. So you
Turn
got,
up the grill, stand by the grill. And we were making we make a chopped cheese chimney there. It's like another Dominican sandwich, kind of with a twist of like uptown New York.
Nice.
And it's a kind of like a bodega sandwich that you would get. And we sold out of those that night.
Yeah.
It was so cold. People were standing in line. I was just like, I'm just trying as hard as I can to get these out into your hands.
Oh man, it does. It gets so cold at that one, and you're just trying to move. Did they? I don't know when it's going to go through, but they're trying to do like a concert on Main Street this year.
Really?
Event. Yeah, Casey and Rachel are working on it. I don't know when. They probably told me, but I didn't pay attention. That's her thing. I just tell me when, I'll be there. But that's something that'll be really cool that I'm hoping they can pull off. I remember I grew up in O'Fallon, Missouri, and I remember they would shut down Main Street when I was really little. Oh man, I had to be like 8 and do a big concert. I remember just everyone in town came, and It's probably the last one they did. I don't think they did it because O'Fallon grew so fast.
O'Fallon.
But I think if they do that at Troy, it's going to be awesome. So if they could pull it off, that'll be a great event for you guys. Because I know a lot of people on Main Street are wanting to get more involved, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah, Main Street is just it's so beautiful, especially at night. And just seeing the community walk and all the nice stores that it has and the brick, it's so nostalgic. And when people know your name on Main Street, it's just, you fall in love with the town, you know?
Yeah, I've learned that lesson. If I'm in a hurry, don't park at one end and try to walk down to another store because you're going to stop several times.
Yes.
I had to do it. I was just trying to grab something from Heckler's, but I just whipped into a parking spot, started walking down the street. It's like 30 minutes before I got back to school. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think about it. I was like, I forget that we all know each other. It's just rough. But that's our hour, man. I appreciate you coming on. This was great. This is a blast, and look forward to seeing you guys at the next event.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So everybody make sure you share and support. Check them out. We are just in love with Lincoln County. So everybody have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Dude, awesome job.